In the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit.
Amen.
Loving Heavenly Father, we ask you to bless our Archdiocese of Bangalore and all its apostolates. In a special way today, we are here to pray for the Archdiocese Communication Center and the AVE studio that's being getting ready and inaugurated. Lord, all communication centers and related studios are for the benefit of the pastoral activities of the dioceses, as well as the proclamation of the good news of Jesus Christ to the world and the people whom you serve. In this modern world, the communication has to be keeping to the times and to the needs to help our people in our parishes, in our dioceses, as well as in the world. Bangalore, known for its Silicon City, has plenty of facilities, and this facility of the Archdiocese will definitely strengthen our priests, our religious, to communicate to the children, to the faithful, the catechism, as well as good news of the Church and Christ. Bless all of us. Bless the director, the Victor, Cyril, and all those who work here. We pray in a special way. Mary, our Mother, to intercede for us. We make this prayer through Christ our Lord.
Amen. I request Archbishop to unveil the 3D nameplate of this studio and turn on the light. I request Archbishop to turn on the light.
I request everyone to please stand up and welcome our chief guests and archbishops and monsignors. Hearty welcome to the chief guests, guests of honor, Your Grace Archbishop Emeritus, His Grace Archbishop, you all can be seated. Thank you very much. It's time now to kickstart officially. I really feel very happy. What an exquisite evening this is. It's such a prolific evening. I'm really very, very happy to see the crowd here. So I really feel that this evening is an evening to bask in the glory of success. And this is the day which is definitely going to be etched in the history of Archdiocese of Bangalore. It's a pleasure for me standing here welcoming every one of you to this wonderful program. ಎಂತಹ ದೈವಿಕ ಸಂಜೆ, ಶುಭ ಸಂಜೆ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ. ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದಲ್ಲಿ ಇಂದು ನಿಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರ ಮುಂದೆ ನಿಂತು ಮಾತನಾಡಲು ಬಹಳ ಸಂತೋಷ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ನಮ್ಮ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು ಮಹಾಧರ್ಮ ಕ್ಷೇತ್ರದ ಯಶಸ್ಸಿನ ವೈಭವವನ್ನು ಮೆಲುಕು ಹಾಕುವಂತಹ ಶುಭ ಸಂಜೆ ಇದು. ಈ ರೀತಿಯ ಸಂಜೆಯ ಅಗತ್ಯ ಖಂಡಿತವಾಗಿ ನಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಇದ್ದೇ ಇದೆ. ಇಂದು ಖಂಡಿತವಾಗಿ ಇತಿಹಾಸದ ಪುಸ್ತಕಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಇಂದಿನ ಸಂಜೆ ಕೆತ್ತಲ್ಪಡುವುದು ಖಂಡಿತವಾಗಿಯೂ ಖರೆ. ಈ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು ಮಹಾಧರ್ಮ ಕ್ಷೇತ್ರದ ಪ್ರತಿಯೋರ್ವ ಕಥೋಲಿಕ ಕುಟುಂಬದ ಪರವಾಗಿ ನಾನು ಹೃತ್ಪೂರ್ವಕವಾಗಿ ಸ್ವಾಗತಿಸುತ್ತೇನೆ. Before I continue talking, before I introduce the dignitaries to you all, I really feel that I should be welcoming beautiful girls here. They are from Sacred Heart School run by St. Anne's, Chennai, and they'll be putting up a dance performance in front of you. Please welcome them with a round of applause. Thank you.
ಚಲನೆಗೆ ಪ್ರೇರಕ ಶಿಲ್ಪಿಯು ನೀನು, ಈ ಚಂಚಲ ಜಗತ್ತಿಗೆ ನಿಶ್ಚಿತ ಗುರಿಯೋ ನೀನು. ಗುರುದೇವ ಪ್ರೀತಿಯ ಆಪ್ತನು ನೀನೇ, ಗುರುದೇವ ನೀ ಚಿನ್ಮಯ ರೂಪ. ಸತ್ಯಪೂರ್ಣನು ನೀನೆ, ಸರ್ವವ್ಯಾಪಿಯು ನೀನೆ, ವಿಶ್ವಜ್ಯೋತಿಯು ನೀನೆ. ಸತ್ಯದರ್ಶಕ ನೀನೆ, ಸತ್ಯಪೂರ್ಣನು ನೀನೆ, ಸರ್ವವ್ಯಾಪಿಯು ನೀನೆ, ವಿಶ್ವಜ್ಯೋತಿಯು ನೀನೆ. ಶಾಂತಿದಾತನು ನೀನೆ, ಆತ್ಮಪ್ರಿಯ ನೀನೆ, ಮುಕ್ತಿದಾಯಕ ನೀನೆ, ಹೃದಯವಂತ ನೀನೆ. ನೀ ಜೀವ ಭಾವ ನೀನೆ ದೇವ, ನನ್ನ ದೈವ. ಓ ಗುರುದೇವ ನೀ ಚಿನ್ಮಯ ರೂಪ, ಈ ವಿಶ್ವದ ಚಲನೆಗೆ ಪ್ರೇರಕ ಶಿಲ್ಪಿಯು ನೀನು, ಚಂಚಲ ಜಗತ್ತಿಗೆ ನಿಶ್ಚಿತ ಗುರಿಯೋ ನೀನು. ಓ ಗುರುದೇವ ಪ್ರೀತಿಯ ಸಾರ, ಆಪ್ತನು ನೀನೇ, ಬಂಧುವು ನೀನೇ. ಬೆಳಕು ನೀನೆ ಆದಿ ಅಂತ್ಯವೂ ನೀನೆ ಬಾನು ಭುವಿಯು ನೀನೆ ನದಿಯು ದಡವು ನೀನೆ ಗಾಳಿ ಬೆಳಕು ನೀನೆ ಆದಿ ಅಂತ್ಯವೂ ನೀನೆ ಹೃದಯ ದಾಹವು ನೀನೆ ಆತ್ಮ ಧ್ಯಾನವು ನೀನೆ ಅಂತರಾತ್ಮವು ನೀನೆ ವಾಕ್ಯ ಬಂಧನ ನೀನೆ ನೀನೆ ಪ್ರಾಣ ಜೀವದ ಜೀವ ನನ್ನ ಜೀವ ಓ ಗುರುದೇವ ನೀ ಚಿನ್ಮಯ ರೂಪ ಈ ವಿಶ್ವದ ಚಲನೆಗೆ ಪ್ರೇರಕ ಶಿಲ್ಪಿಯು ನೀನು ಈ ಚಂಚಲ ಜಗತ್ತಿಗೆ ನಿಶ್ಚಿತ ಗುರಿಯು ನೀನು ಓ ಗುರುದೇವ ಪ್ರೀತಿಯ ಸಾರ ಆಪ್ತನು ನೀನೇ ಬಂಧುವು ನೀನೇ
I request everyone to please stand for a minute. This is to observe a minute of silence, remembering the war victims, children, women, many innocent civilians and soldiers, resultant of the war between Ukraine and Russia. And also, let us remember all the victims of COVID-19. Thank you very much. Please be seated. I welcome Brother Maria to welcome the chief guests and guest of honor.
Pleasant evening to one and all present here. Smile is a universal welcome, says William Shakespeare. Dear friends, I stand here with a smile on my face, love in heart, and gratitude in my being, and it's my pleasure to welcome the esteemed guests of the day, Most Reverend Bishop Emeritus Bernard Morris, Archbishop Peter Machado, the Archbishop of Bangalore, and Monsignor S. Jayanathan, and Monsignor C. Francis, and Mr. Andrew Jaipal, and Mr. Joe Simon.
A lot of powerful religious leaders from Jesus to Buddha or the Tibetan monks, they have told just one thing. What is it? Love and acceptance and value of friendship. And also respecting yourself so you can respect others. Most Reverend Dr. Bernard Morris, you are the man of love who is acceptable by the people of all walks, and it's indeed a great moment to have you with us today. A warm welcome to the man of love who is now called a silver shepherd because he has completed 25 years of shepherding in the Ministry of Diocese of Belgaum and in the Archdiocese of Bangalore. May I request Father Cyril Victor to welcome our Archbishop Emeritus with flowers. Hearty welcome to you, Your Grace.
The spirit of Christ is a spirit of missions. The nearer we get, the more intensely missionary we become, says Henry Martin. Your most gracious Reverend Dr. Peter Machado, your love for missions always attract people towards you because you are close to God, and that closeness to God takes you to close to His people. It's indeed a splendid moment for us to have you amidst us today. May I request Father Cyril to welcome our Archbishop with flowers, and welcome to you, Your Grace. Let us give a round of applause to our Archbishop and welcome to this gathering. The cello is such a versatile instrument. It can rock like the hardest rock guitar, and it can sing like the human voice. We couldn't do what we do without the classical training. It's a hard instrument to play. There are no frets, and it takes fineness and technique to play, says Lucas Sulik. Cello as an instrument is versatile. Mr. Joe Simon, you are a versatile person par excellence. Your directed movie of Mr. Vishnuvardhan of Happy Memories, especially Badidedda Sahodara, Sahasa Simha, Ravi Varma, Mahapurusha, and many more showcases that ferociousness of the Sahasa Simha's dialogue. We are really fortunate to have you with us on this auspicious day. May I request for Cyril to welcome Mr. Joe Simon, the director, with the flowers. Artistic talent is a gift from God, and whoever discovers it in himself has a certain obligation to know that he cannot waste this talent but must develop it, says Pope Saint John Paul II. Dear Andrew Jai Paul, this quote by Pope Saint John Paul II is very fitting to you, as your artistic talent was gifted by God. You have realized it, and in fact you have developed it. By doing so, you have become a role model for many youngsters to follow. It's our privilege to have you with us for our inauguration of our AVE studios. We welcome you, sir. May I request Father Cyril to welcome the troubleshooter of the Big Boss house, who is none other than Mr. Andrew Jaipal, and we welcome you, sir.
Our former president APJ Kalam once said, "It is necessary to have a creative leadership. Creative leadership is vital for government, non-governmental organizations, as well as industries." We have a person whose creative mind and meticulous guidance has shaped many youngsters. Monsignor S. Jayanathan, sir, here we welcome you very warmly to this inauguration of our own AVE studio, and we are very pleased to have you in this occasion today. I welcome Father Cyril to welcome the Monsignor.
If your actions create a legacy that inspires others to dream more, learn more, do more, and become more, then you are an excellent leader, says Dolly Parton. Monsignor C. Francis, you are the inspiration for us, that every action of yours has always been a learning for us. And this learning has made us to dream more, learn more, and do more. That's why we call you as an excellent leader. It's your actions and timely guidance which has helped us to learn more, and we have begun this journey of learning. Thanks for igniting that spark in us. A warm welcome to you, Monsignor C. Francis. May I request for Cyril to welcome our Monsignor with flowers, and welcome to you, Monsignor.
It's a pleasure to have Reverend Father Stephen Alatara, Deputy Secretary General CCBI. I just read about him in terms of how great he is in terms of writing communication, and he has authored more than 12 books and hundreds of articles. I'm very pleased to have you here. I request Father Cyril to welcome him. Well-wishers are like beautiful shining street lamps. They keep burning. They burn out for themselves, not for themselves, but they burn for others. This is a Chinese proverb, but here, my dear generous hearts, I can see lots of street lights here. Okay. So this AVE studio is all because of your generosity. It's an honor for us today to have you amidst us, and it's on the inauguration of this our own AVE studio. We welcome you all, the dear well-wishers and donors, to the inauguration of our AVE studios. A round of applause for the dignitaries here, chief guests, guest of honor, and everyone assembled here. Thank you.
Once again, on behalf of the Director of the Archdiocese in Communications, Father Cyril Victor, I welcome all of you who have gathered here this day on this auspicious day. A warm welcome to you. Sit back, relax. Thank you all.
The main reason that we are here today is the wonderful atmosphere that we are enjoying today is because we have our own digital studio coming up. But when we say a studio coming up, we feel that, okay, it's another studio coming up, it's an inauguration day, we'll all go gather, spend some time, listen to what people say. But it's also very important to know what are the efforts that has gone behind the scenes. So when there is a studio coming up, what are the efforts? What is the success story of it? It is very important to know about it. Before knowing that, I would like to tell some few words about Father Cyril Victor, a Bangalorean with a visionary of media. So he's like, whenever we speak to him, he speaks everything, or he connects the things in terms of the media. And he completed his master's degree in English literature from Kannada State Open University. And then he also completed his doctorate degree in the Institutional Church Communications at Pontifical University of Holy Cross, Rome, Italy. As a Roman Catholic priest of the Archdiocese, he discharged his pastoral duties as hierarchical vicar at St. Joseph's Church, Brand Square, in 2008 to 2009. He was an assistant rector, Bhakti Bhavan Minor Seminary, from 2009 to 2012. Assistant Director, Archdiocesan Communication Center, from 2009 to 2012. And he also was an editor of Tabor Vani, which is an Archdiocesan monthly news magazine. He was recently appointed as the CCBI National Coordinator for Media Apostolate. If I go on telling about him, if I go on mentioning about these things, I might go on and on, but on the conceptualization or on the planning or on the hardships that have resulted in today, I would really like Father Cyril Victor to talk about these from his own words. I request Father to please come and take the stage.
My dear friends, good evening. I would like to begin this presentation with a small video clip to present the AVE studios. Please sit back, relax, and watch this video. Yes, here we are. Your Grace, Most Reverend Dr. Archbishop Peter Machado, Archbishop Emeritus, Most Reverend Bernard Morris, dear Monsignori, Monsignor Jainathan S. and Monsignor C. Francis, Reverend Dr. Stephen Alatara, our chief guests, Mr. Joe Simon and Mr. Andy J. Paul, and all the donors. I stand here with deep gratitude that this venture of building AVE Studios would not have been possible without the providence of God, which has been the key in this project. From the book of Psalms we know, Psalm 127 verse 1, unless the Lord builds the unless the Lord builds the house, the builders labor in vain. I have never imagined that this project will come out so beautifully, and I am only spellbound and speechless to see the mighty hand of God all through in the last 2 years of media ministry during the COVID, and especially in the last 1 year when we started designing and proceeded with the construction of the studios. We started with no name, no design, but as days, weeks, months rolled on, we have been able to shape a space for multimedia solutions. As we all know, Bengaluru is transformed from Garden City to the Silicon Valley, attracting n number of people to our IT city. In such a scenario, it made us to pause for a while to fill the vacuum in the Archdiocese to set up a full-fledged and a fully equipped multimedia studio. Directly or indirectly, COVID paved the way for the realization of this project. This has created a milestone in the Archdiocese of Bangalore. We searched and hunted for the right studio designers and acousticians to design and to meet our concepts. Hence, the project was coined with Sauka Acoustics, who designed and have accomplished in bringing out our ideas into reality. The second wave of COVID hampered the studio works. Otherwise, we have had a smooth completion of the project without any casualties. We thank the Almighty for this. After the 3D model and design, we started calculating our resources. No sooner we realized that we are not any closer to achieve the expected goal. We prayed for God's generosity to unfold, and the donors unveiled with all their small and big donations that have come forward very lovingly and willingly in spite of the hard hit of the pandemic. To seek help and to approach people, online platform was used to the fullest. Though the request made through the online daily masses. The response has been so overwhelming that we were able to complete the setup of the studio. Over 1 crore rupees have been spent in the entire setup and the procure of the equipments in the audio section. At this juncture, my heartfelt thanks to all the donors who have contributed their might. I would like to recall 2 beautiful experiences in this venture. There was one day a lady called from Dharwad. Phone ಮಾಡಿ ಅವರು, ಫಾದರ್, ನನಗೆ ಕೋವಿಡ್ ಬಂದಿತ್ತು, ಹಾಸ್ಪಿಟ್ಲ್ಗೆ ಹೋಗಬೇಕಾಗಿತ್ತು, ನಾನು ಕಾಯಿಲೆಯಿಂದ ಅಸ್ವಸ್ಥಳಾಗಿ ನಾನು ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲೇ ಬಲಿಪೂಜೆ, ಆನ್ಲೈನ್ ಪೂಜೆ ನಾನು ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೆ. ಆನ್ಲೈನ್ ಬಲಿಪೂಜೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಪ್ರಾರ್ಥನೆ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡೆ, ದೇವರು ನನಗೆ ಸ್ವಾಸ್ಥ್ಯವನ್ನು ನೀಡಿದರು. ನಾನು ಹಾಸ್ಪಿಟ್ಲ್ಗೆ ಅಂತ 33,000 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಸೇವ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಇಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೆ, ಇದನ್ನು ನಾನು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಸ್ಟುಡಿಯೋ ಇದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಕಳಿಸ್ಕೊಡ್ತೇನೆ ಎಂದು. ಮತ್ತೊಬ್ಬರು ಕಮನಹಳ್ಳಿಯಿಂದ ಒಬ್ಬ ಮಹಿಳೆ ಒಬ್ಬರು ಬಂದರು. ಒಂದು ದಿನ she came into my office and she said she wanted to donate for the studio, and she was a very simple dressed and she was I just welcomed her, and she said, "Father, all that I have I want to give for the studio," and she handed over 1 lakh for the growth of the studio. Like this, each one of you have made a difference in your own way. One of the features in our studio is the donor tree, where the names of all the donors is being displayed. Though many were reluctant and shy about the display of their names, we insisted in doing this, as this is to remind ourselves to be more committed and responsible in delivering creative and insightful programs for the greater glory of God and for the spiritual upliftment of the faithful. I take this opportunity to thank Archbishop Peter Machado, who has been the pillar of strength in carrying out this project. From day one, His Grace has been very obliging, not just in giving necessary permission, but complete freedom in executing this project. He personally appealed to the people at our online masses platform, endorsing this project, and also personally acknowledged the donations with his letter. In a very special way, Archbishop appointed me to look after the media concerns in the diocese as soon as I returned from my studies. Thank you, Your Grace, for your constant support and guidance in bringing up this media center and AVE studios to spread the gospel for the sake of the mission and evangelization. My sincere gratitude to Archbishop Emeritus, Most Reverend Bernard Morris. He has been a visionary, and it is he who sent me to the higher studies in Rome. He was always encouraging and tapped my talents and paved the way to nurture these potentials. And today I owe my gratitude to him. And I must say that one of his dreams has been fulfilled, as this AVE Studios will be at the service of the church here in the Archdiocese of Bangalore and Karnataka and beyond. Thank you, Your Grace. I thank Monsignor Jayanathan for his forethought. I take pride in saying that he is the founder of our Archdiocesan Communication Center, ACC, and has been a pioneer in setting up our media center and for all his valuable contributions towards the same. He was one among the first donors to send a contribution to build our studios. At the conceptual level, when we planned the studios, he has been very instrumental in refining our ideas about the entire project. Thank you, Monsignor. I am very grateful to Monsignor C. Francis, who has shown keen interest in this project. From the very beginning, he has given his valuable time and talent to shape these studios, and in a very special way, he has gone out of his way to extend a very generous contribution and stands very unique. We are grateful for his valuable suggestions and appreciate his ready to help nature, and being available anytime has made us to build this studio. Monsignor, we thank you wholeheartedly for all your unconditional support. We also thank you for inviting the chief guests for this evening's program, who are from different walks of media. My sincere thanks and appreciation to the studio designers and architects, Mr. O.J. Shimra, Mr. Praveen and their collaborators, Mr. Charles, the electrician, Mr. Ramesh, the carpenter, Mr. Prakash, the IT expert, Mr. Sajay and Mr. Elston, the equipments consultants. They have contributed their skill and talent in realizing this project well within the time given. Thank you all. I would like to place on record the services of our priests, who are constantly helping us with the daily online masses and various spiritual programs, and their support in many other ways. I would like to acknowledge that their services rendered and extend my thanks note for walking hand in hand with us. Special thanks to Reverend Father Arikiraj Satish, the Chancellor, Reverend Father Gregory, the Financial Administrator, Reverend Father Martin Anil, Assistant to Financial Administrator, Reverend Father Louis Vedakumar, Reverend Father Arun Santosh, Reverend Father Gabriel Christie, Reverend Father Lourdes Santosh, Reverend Father Viven Monis, and all other fathers. Special thanks to Reverend Father R.K. Swami, the parish priest of Our Lady of Lourdes Church, Alsur, for coordinating and finalizing in recording the first audio track in dedication for the AVE studios. Would like you all to put your hands together for all these fathers. My special thanks to my team who were always with me in and out, striving hard in bringing up this well-designed studios. Special thanks also to Reverend Father Clement Deep, Reverend Father Shashi, Reverend Father Infant, Reverend Father Arun Kumar, the then deacons who have helped much, and the present deacon Maria Anthony, the staff of ACC, Mr. Stephen, Mr. Kishore, Mr. Noel, who have shouldered in sharing our responsibilities and fulfilling the many tasks of the media center. They have been indeed the backbone for this media center. It's my duty also to thank the staff of Palana Bhavana, who have been so supportive, and my sincere gratitude to the sisters community of St. Joseph Vaz for all the arrangements. We thank the Dream Events, the JMJ groups, and Mr. Murali and Co. for today's stage decorations and all other arrangements. A special thanks to all the chief guests for setting aside their busy schedules after their altering their timetable to be amidst us in this evening to shower the joy of their presence by inaugurating AVE Studios. Thank you for accepting our invitation. You have been a source of inspiration for all of us to pursue and achieve much more. I would like to thank also Reverend Dr. Stephen Alatara, the Deputy Secretary General for CCBI, for being here with us. I now invite you to watch the video presentation of how the studio works progressed.
My dear brothers and sisters, the works that are being carried on for our studio that our Archdiocesan Communication Center here in Palana Bhavan would like to establish. The director of the Archdiocesan Communication Center has envisaged a project
My dear friends, I'm so glad that you are part of this communication campaign, the media ministry that we are doing in the Archdiocese. Today, this is the new medium, the new podium, the new platform that God has given us so that we can continue to spread the message of Christ. Thank you for being part of this mission, and I invite all of you and many more people to be part of this mission so that we can continue this wonderful task for the greater glory of God. God bless you. My dear friends, Rome was not built in a day. I'm sure you will all agree with that. In the same way, this studio setup is almost complete, yet we are equipping the same slowly and gradually with the state-of-the-art facilities and the latest audiovisual equipments. We are confident to take this initiative forward for the greater glory of God, to achieve the purpose for which this has been designed. Thank you, one and all, for gracing this occasion. God bless.
Wow, what an amazing journey we all witnessed so far. I hope you all agree to my thoughts. You echo with me. Can we acknowledge with a round of applause, please? Thank you. I now call upon the Archbishop Emeritus, His Grace Most Reverend Bernard Morris, to address this event.
Dear Archbishop Peter Machado, Archbishop of Bangalore, dear Monsignori, dear guests of honor, all invitees, dear sisters, friends, brothers, and well-wishers and donors. First of all, let me offer my congratulations and good wishes to the Archdiocese of Bangalore, led by the Archbishop Peter Machado, as well as to the Palna Bhavana Director and his Director, Father Cyril Victor, on this occasion of the inauguration of the AVE studios at the ACC at Palna Bhavana. My dear friends, as Father Cyril Victor mentioned, ACC was in existence from many years, started by Monsignor Jayanathan after he came back from the studies in States in the very communication media, much before my coming to the Archdiocese. A small studio was put up next to the left of my here, where we are standing here. But various reasons, of course, we could not have all the facilities in that center as we would visualize in this changing world in studios. Palna Bhavana, a pastoral center for the Archdiocese, to house all commissions was put up by the Archdiocese in 2008 onwards, 7 onwards, so that a provision also was made for the ACC and for the studio, where now the present AVE studios being, the place being modified is put up. Father Cyril Victor was sent to Rome, to Santa Croce University, with a specific purpose. And the purpose was that he equips himself, gets trained himself for the pastoral communication, which he specialized. And while getting specialized in this, he had the experience of getting the know-how both in Rome as well as in America. I think he went to the studio there, EWTN, and had various experiences. Dear friends, to me, AVE Studio is not a commercial activity. And if it is a commercial activity, I would say no. But it's a pastoral activity. And it has to be for the training of our priests, seminarians, and the faithful, how to communicate the Word of God in this changing world is the main purpose behind it. Yes, a studio has to stand on its own, and some type of training activities which brings in income will be there, but the main purpose will be the pastoral orientation that everyone gets. All commissions need to be helped. How to communicate the message of Christ in this communication. It could be liturgy, it could be Holy Bible, it could be catechesis, it could be any other 21 or 22 commissions the Archdiocese has. And this is what I would appeal to the ACC to think over and take up, while extending the facilities to the public. Bangalore and many of the religious institutions in Bangalore have studios. And some of them could be commercial, offering the facilities to the public to make use of it. And some of them also could be only pastoral. But Archdiocese being the top institution, rather, the church has even the responsibility to have for these studios their purpose to be understood in the right way. I thank Father Cyril for inviting me. I'm happy that he's rightly using his talents, having come back from the studies and equipped himself with a doctorate in the pastoral communication from the Santa Croce University, one of the famous universities. When I looked out where he could be sent and which is one of the best institutions in this, it was said to me that Santa Croce would be one of the best institutions where it could have better knowledge, experiences, and learning. And this is why I chose that university to get the scholarship for him to get the admissions. My dear Archbishop and my dear friends, I congratulate the Archdiocese. I congratulate once again Father Cyril Victor and wish both ACC as well as the AVE studio God's choices blessing. May it be one of the strongest instrument to communicate the good news of Jesus Christ in the Archdiocese, in the state, as well as to the whole world, so to say. God bless you.
ಪ್ರಿಯ ಕ್ರೈಸ್ತ ಬಾಂಧವರೇ, ನಮ್ಮ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು ಮಹಾಧರ್ಮ ಕ್ಷೇತ್ರದ ವತಿಯಿಂದ ಆವೆ ಸ್ಟುಡಿಯೋ ಲೋಕಾರ್ಪಣೆ ಮಾಡುವ ಶುಭ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಪ್ರಥಮ ಗೀತೆಯನ್ನು ಧ್ವನಿ ಮುದ್ರಿಸಿ ಕೇಳುಗರಿಗೆ ತಲುಪಿಸಲು ಬಹಳ ಸಂತಸವಾಗುತ್ತದೆ. ಇದೇ ರೀತಿ ಇನ್ನೂ ಅನೇಕ ಕ್ರೈಸ್ತ ಭಕ್ತಿಗೀತೆಗಳು, ಆಧ್ಯಾತ್ಮಿಕ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಗಳು ಮೂಡಿಬರಲೆಂದು ಆಶಿಸಿ ಆಶೀರ್ವದಿಸುತ್ತೇನೆ. ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ಕೆ ಮಾತೆ ಮರಿಯಮ್ಮನವರ ಪ್ರಾರ್ಥನೆ ನೆರವಾಗಲಿ. ಆವೆ ಸ್ಟುಡಿಯೋ ಎಲ್ಲೆಡೆ ಸುಪ್ರಸಿದ್ಧವಾಗಲಿ ಎಂದು ಹಾರೈಸುತ್ತೇನೆ.
ಸ್ವರ್ಗದ ರಾಣಿಯೇ ಎಮ್ಮಯ ತಾಯಿಯೇ ಎಮ್ಮ ಸಲಹು ನೀ ಶ್ರೀಮಾತೆಯೇ.
ಸ್ವರ್ಗದ ರಾಣಿಯೇ ಎಮ್ಮಯ ತಾಯಿಯೇ ಎಮ್ಮ ಸಲಹು ನೀ ಶ್ರೀಮಾತೆಯೇ.
ಪ್ರಾರ್ಥನೆ ಆಲಿಸು, ಕರುಣೆಯ ತೋರಿಸು, ನಿತ್ಯ ಕಾಯುತ್ತ ರಕ್ಷಿಸು.
ಪ್ರಾರ್ಥನೆ ಆಲಿಸು, ಕರುಣೆಯ ತೋರಿಸು, ನಿತ್ಯ ಕಾಯುತ್ತ ರಕ್ಷಿಸು. ನಿತ್ಯ ಕಾಯುತ್ತ ರಕ್ಷಿಸು. ಆವೆ ಮರಿಯಾ, ಆವೆ ಮರಿಯಾ, ಆವೆ ಮರಿಯಾ, ಆವೆ ಮರಿಯಾ, ಆವೆ ಮರಿಯಾ, ಆವೆ
ದೀನತೆ ಧರಿಸಿದ ದೀನರ ಮಾತೆಯೇ, ದೀನತೆಯ ಕಲಿಸು ನೀ ತಾಯಿಯೇ.
ದೀನತೆ ಧರಿಸಿದ ದೀನರ ಮಾತೆಯೇ, ದೀನ ದೀನತೆಯ ಕಲಿಸು ನೀ ತಾಯೇ.
ಭಕ್ತಿಯಿಂ ವಂದಿಸಿ ಶ್ರದ್ಧೆಯಿಂ ಪೂಜಿಸಿ ದೇವನ ಸದಾ ಸ್ತುತಿಸಿ.
ಭಕ್ತಿಯಿಂ ವಂದಿಸಿ ಶ್ರದ್ಧೆಯಿಂ ಪೂಜಿಸಿ ದೇವನ ಸದಾ ಸ್ತುತಿಸಿ.
ದೇವನ ಸದಾ ಸ್ತುತಿಸಿ.
ಆವೆ ಮರಿಯಾ, ಆವೆ ಮರಿಯಾ, ಆವೆ ಮರಿಯಾ, ಆವೆ ಮರಿಯಾ, ಆವೆ ಮರಿಯಾ, ಆವೆ ಮರಿಯಾ.
ಪರಿಶುದ್ಧ ಕನ್ನಿಕೆ ದೇವರ ತಾಯಿಯೇ ಪರಿಶುದ್ಧ ಮಾರ್ಗದಿ ನಡೆಸು ನೀ.
ಪರಿಶುದ್ಧ ಕನ್ನಿಕೆ ದೇವರ ತಾಯಿ ಪರಿಶುದ್ಧ ಮಾರ್ಗದಿ ನಡೆಸು ನೀ.
ಪಾಪ ವಿನಾಶಕಿ ರೋಗ ನಿವಾರಕಿ ಸ್ವರ್ಗ ಹಾದಿಯ ತೋರಿಸಿ.
ಪಾಪ ವಿನಾಶಕಿ ರೋಗ ನಿವಾರಕಿ ಸ್ವರ್ಗ ಹಾದಿಯ ತೋರಿಸಿ.
ಸ್ವರ್ಗ ಹಾದಿಯ ತೋರಿಸಿ.
ಆವೆ ಮರಿಯಾ, ಆವೆ ಮರಿಯಾ, ಆವೆ ಮರಿಯಾ, ಆವೆ ಮರಿಯಾ, ಆವೆ ಮರಿಯಾ, ಆವೆ ಮರಿಯಾ.
It's time now to felicitate the donors. I request the chief guests to please come on the stage. I request Joe Simon sir. I request Your Grace Archbishop Emeritus Bernard Morris to please come on stage. I request Your Grace Archbishop Peter Machado to come on stage. I request Monsignor Jainathan to please come on stage. I request Monsignor Francis to please come on stage. Please be seated. I request Your Grace Archbishop Peter Machado to please come and sit forward. I request Father Cyril Monsignori to please come and felicitate Archbishop Your Grace Peter Machado. I request Archbishop Emeritus Bernard Morris to please come and I request Archbishop Peter Machado to felicitate along with the Monsignori. I request Joe Simon sir to please come forward. Request Your Grace Archbishop Peter Machado and Monsignor to please do the honors. I request Mr. Andrew Jaipal to please come forward. Request Archbishop Your Grace Peter Machado and Monsignor to do the honors. Please clap loud. I request Monsignor Jainathan to please come forward and seated. Request Father Cyril and Your Grace Archbishop to felicitate. Continue the applause, please. I request Monsignor Francis to come forward. I request Mr. Abraham Jacob to please come forward. Mr. Abraham Jacob. Mr. John Xavier. I request Mr. John Xavier to please come forward. I request Mrs. Abrojapa. Let's get involved by the applause. Mr. Jacob, I request Mr. Jacob to come forward. Mrs. Dorothy Sheila. I request Mrs. Dorothy Sheila. Time now to felicitate the studio designers and architects. I request Mr. O.J. Shimra. Mr. Praveen. Equipment consultant, Mr. Sajai. Mr. Sajai, please come forward. Mr. Elston, IT Department, Mr. Prakash. I request Mr. Prakash to come forward. Carpentry Department, Mr. Ramesh. Thank you. Now we have the donors. I request Archbishop Your Grace Peter Machado, Archbishop Emeritus Your Grace Bernard Morris, Monsignories, and Father Cyril to felicitate the donors.
So I call out the names. There's some who are not here. Please come forward and receive the memento in memory or in honor of our studios. Mrs. Agnes Pratibha Shantappa. Mrs. Pratibha. Mr. Albert Anil Kumar. Alfred Avinash. Amrit Kumar, Anand Raj, Andrews Vijayanathan, Mrs. Ann Borges, Mr. Anup James Leo, Anthony Roslyn Lobo, come forward. Come. Let's put our hands together. Thank you. Mrs. Anthony Alice. Mrs. Anthony Alice. Archana Leo. Anand Leo. We put our hands together. Mrs. Arogya Mary, Mr. Arulappa Basunpura, Mr. Bartholomew Anthony Teresa, Florence Dennis Lobo, Mr. James Lewis, Mr. James Lewis, Mrs. Mary Pratibha, Mrs. Mary Pratibha, Mr. Nicholas, Mr. Nicholas, Mr. Nigel, careful. Mr. Nicholas, Mr. Nigel, Mr. Puttaswamy, Sisters of St. Anne, Bangalore, Sisters of St. Anne, Chennai, Sisters of St. Joseph of Tobbs, Mr. Anto from St. Martha's Hospital, Mr. Sidney Joseph Dissa, Vijita Jacinta Pereira, Mr. Stephen Dicuto, Mr. Ari Vijay and family, Mrs. Vimala CM, please come forward. Mr. C.R. Joseph, Mr. George and Pushpa, there are still some more donors who have not come, who have excused themselves. And if there are any other donors who have not ticked here, please come forward. Come. Mr. John Xavier, so we thank all the donors, and rest of the mementos we will try to reach it to them. Thanks for being here in this occasion.
I request Joe Simon sir to please address the gathering.
ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ? ಓಕೆ. ಅತಿ ವಂದನೀಯ ಆರ್ಚ್ ಬಿಷಪ್ ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ರೆವರೆಂಡ್ ಬರ್ನಾರ್ಡ್ ಮೋರಸ್ ರವರೇ, ಅತಿ ವಂದನೀಯ ಆರ್ಚ್ ಬಿಷಪ್ ಪೀಟರ್ ಮಚಾಡೋರವರೇ, ಫಾದರ್ ಸಿರಿಲ್ ವಿಕ್ಟಿಕ್ ಜೋಸೆಫ್ ರವರೇ, ಫಾದರ್ ಸಿ ಫ್ರಾನ್ಸಿಸ್ ರವರೇ, ಉಳಿದ ನನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ವಂದನೀಯ ಗುರುಗಳೇ, ಸಿಸ್ಟರ್ಗಳೇ, ಬಂಧು ಮಿತ್ರರೇ, ವಿಶೇಷವಾಗಿ ಈ ಆವೆ ಸ್ಟುಡಿಯೋಗೆ ದಾನ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ದಾನಿಗಳೇ, ಬಂಧು ಮಿತ್ರರೇ, ನಿಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನನ್ನ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ಈ ಒಂದು ಸುಂದರವಾದ ಸಂಜೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಒಂದು ಆವೆ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಟುಡಿಯೋವನ್ನು ಲೋಕಾರ್ಪಣೆ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ನಮ್ಮ ವಂದನೀಯ ಆರ್ಚ್ ಬಿಷಪ್ಗಳು ಇಂಥ ಒಂದು ಸುಸಜ್ಜಿತವಾದ ಅಚ್ಚುಕಟ್ಟಾದ ಭವ್ಯವಾದ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಟುಡಿಯೋವನ್ನು ನಾನು ಬೇರೆ ಕಡೆ ನೋಡಿರಲಿಲ್ಲ. ನಾನು 35ಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಚಿತ್ರಗಳ ನಿರ್ದೇಶನ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೇನೆ. ಚಿತ್ರರಂಗಕ್ಕೆ ಪ್ರವೇಶ ಮಾಡಿ ಇಂದಿಗೆ ನಾನು 55 ವರ್ಷಗಳು ಈ ಚಿತ್ರರಂಗದಲ್ಲಿದ್ದೇನೆ. ಆದರೆ ಈ ಸ್ಟುಡಿಯೋ ನಿಜಕ್ಕೂ ಇದರ ದೇವರ ಆಶೀರ್ವಾದ. ಇದರ ಆಲೋಚನೆಯನ್ನು ಯಾರು ಮಾಡಿದರೂ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ಆದರೆ ಇದು ದೇವರ ಆಜ್ಞೆ. ದಾವೀದಿಗೂ ಸಾಲೋಮನಿಗೂ ಜ್ಞಾನ ಕೊಟ್ಟ ಆ ಪಿತದೇವರೇ ಈ ಒಂದು ಸುಸಜ್ಜಿತವಾದ ಸ್ಟುಡಿಯೋವನ್ನು ಪ್ರಾರಂಭ ಮಾಡಲು ಜ್ಞಾನ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ನಿಜವಾಗಲೂ ಧನ್ಯವಾದ, ಮೆಚ್ಚುವಂಥದ್ದು. ನಮ್ಮ ಒಂದು ರಿಲೀಜಿಯಸ್ಗೆ ಇಂಥ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಟುಡಿಯೋ ಮಾಡಿರೋದು ನಾನು ಬಹಳಷ್ಟು ಖುಷಿ ಪಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ಅದು ಚಿತ್ರರಂಗದಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದವನು. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾಗೆ ಮುಖ್ಯ ಅತಿಥಿಯಾಗಿ ಬಂದಿರತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ರೂ ಮತ್ತು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ವಿಶೇಷ ಅಂತಂದರೆ, ನಾನು ನಿರ್ದೇಶನ ಮಾಡಿದ ವಿಷ್ಣುವರ್ಧನ್ ರವರ ಸಾಹಸ ಸಿಂಹ ಫೆಬ್ರವರಿ 12ಕ್ಕೆ 40 ವರ್ಷಗಳು ಕಳೆದಿದೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ವಿಶೇಷವಾದ ಸಂಬರಗಳು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು, ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಗಳು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇಂದು ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಏನು ವಿಶೇಷ ಅಂತಂದರೆ, ಆ ಚಿತ್ರದಲ್ಲಿ ನಟಿಸಿದಂಥ ಒಬ್ಬ ನಟ ನಮ್ಮ ಮುಂದೆ ಕುಳಿತಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅವರೇ ಆಂಟೋನಿ. ಎಲ್ರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ಈ ಒಂದು ಸುಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮ್ಮನ್ನು ಭೇಟಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದು, ಆ ಚಿತ್ರ ಮಾಡಿ 40 ವರ್ಷಗಳಾಗಿದೆ. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಇವರು ಹರಿಕೇಸರಿ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಅದ್ಭುತವಾದ ನಟನೆಯನ್ನು ನೀಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ನಮ್ಮವರು ಬಹಳ ಖುಷಿ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ನಿಜವಾಗ್ಲೂ. ಈ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಟುಡಿಯೋ ಮತ್ತು ಈ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಟುಡಿಯೋದಲ್ಲಿ ರೆಕಾರ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಹಾಡನ್ನು ನಾನು ಕೇಳಿದೆ, ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಾರ್ಥನೆಯ ಗೀತೆಯನ್ನು ಕೇಳಿದೆ. ಭಾಳ ಅಚ್ಚುಕಟ್ಟಾಗಿದೆ, ರೆಕಾರ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಭಾಳ ಸುಂದರವಾಗಿದೆ, ಸ್ಪಷ್ಟವಾದ ಧ್ವನಿ ಮುದ್ರಣ ಇದೆ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಈ ಸ್ಟುಡಿಯೋಗೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಈ ಏಸು ಕೀರ್ತನೆಗಳಾಗಲಿ, ನಮ್ಮ ಏಸು ಚರಿತೆಗಳನ್ನು ಚಿತ್ರಿಸುವುದಾಗಲಿ, ಅದರ ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ಕ್ರೈಸ್ತ ಧರ್ಮದ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಗಳಾಗಲಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡುವುದರ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಇದನ್ನು ಕಮರ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಆಗೂ ಸಹ ಪಡೆಯಬಹುದು ಅನ್ನೋ ಮಟ್ಟಕ್ಕೆ ಬಹಳ ಅತ್ಯುತ್ತಮವಾದ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಟುಡಿಯೋ ಇದು. ನಾನು ಇನ್ನು ಮುಂದೆ ಮಾಡುವಂಥ ನನ್ನ ಒಂದು ಕಮರ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಚಿತ್ರವನ್ನು ಈ ನಮ್ಮ ಆವೆ ಸ್ಟುಡಿಯೋದಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಾರಂಭಿಸುತ್ತೇನೆ ಎಂದು ನಿಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರ ಮುಂದೆ ಹೇಳೋದಕ್ಕೆ ನನಗಿಷ್ಟಪಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ನಿಜವಾಗ್ಲೂ ಭಾಳ ಖುಷಿ ಕೊಡುತ್ತೆ. ಏಕೆಂತಂದರೆ ನಾನು ಎಲ್ಲ ಸ್ಟುಡಿಯೋ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಬಂದನು, ಭಾಳ ಅಚ್ಚುಕಟ್ಟಿದೆ, ನೀಟ್ನೆಸ್ ಇದೆ, ಎಲ್ಲವೂ ವ್ಯವಸ್ಥಿತವಾಗಿ ಮಾಡಿರೋದು. ಗುರುಗಳು ಎಲ್ಲ ಸೇರಿಕೊಂಡು ಇಷ್ಟೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅವರು ಆರ್ಕಿಟೆಕ್ಟ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ತಂತ್ರಜ್ಞರು, ಆ ಕೆಲಸಗಾರರು, ಅವರು ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನನ್ನ ಧನ್ಯವಾದವನ್ನು ತಿಳಿಸ್ತೀನಿ. ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ವಿಶೇಷ, ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಕ್ಕೆ ಮೇಘನಾ ರಾಜ್ರವರು ಬರಬೇಕಾಗಿತ್ತು. ಅವರ ತಾಯಿಗೆ ನಾನು ಫೋನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೆ ಈಗ ಬರೋಕ್ಕೆ ಮುಂಚೆ. ಪಾಪ ಅವರು ಸಂದಿಗ್ಧ ಸ್ಥಿತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಅವರೊಂದು ಚಿತ್ರೀಕರಣದಲ್ಲಿ ಸಿಗಾಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಮೇಘನರಾಜು ಪಾಪ ನನ್ನ ಮೂಲಕ ಈ ಒಂದು ಆವೆ ಸ್ಟುಡಿಯೋಗೆ ಶುಭಾಶಯಗಳನ್ನು ತಿಳಿಸಿ ಕಳಿಸಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಬಾರದೇ ಇದ್ದಿದ್ದಕ್ಕೆ ಕ್ಷಮೆಯನ್ನು ಸಹ ಅವರು ಯಾಚಿಸಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಈ ಮೇಘನರಾಜ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಹೇಳೋದಾದರೆ, ನಾನು 1918ರಲ್ಲಿ 2018ನಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಫಿಲ್ಮ್ ಅವಾರ್ಡ್ ಕಮಿಟಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಚೇರ್ಮನ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದೆ. ನಾನು ಅವಾರ್ಡ್ ಕಮಿಟಿ ಚೇರ್ಮನ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದೆ. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುವುದೆಲ್ಲ ಹೀಗೆ ಅನ್ನೋ ಒಂದು ಚಿತ್ರದಲ್ಲಿ ಮೇಘನರಾಜ್ ಅವರು ಭಾಳ ಅದ್ಭುತವಾಗಿ ಆ್ಯಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದರು. ಅವರು ನನ್ನ ಚೇರ್ಮನ್ಶಿಪ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಅತ್ಯುತ್ತಮ ನಟಿ ಪ್ರಶಸ್ತಿಯನ್ನು ಬಿರುದು ಕೊಡುವಂತೆ ನಾನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೇನೆ. ಅವರು ನಮ್ಮವರು, ನಿಜವಾಗಲೂ ಭಾಳ ನನಗೆ ಅದ್ಭುತವಾಗಿದೆ. ಅದೇ ರೀತಿ ನಮ್ಮವರೇ ಆದ ಥಾಮಸ್ ಅನ್ನೋ ಒಬ್ಬ ಆರ್ಟ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಗೆ ನಾನು ಪ್ರಶಸ್ತಿಯನ್ನು ಕೊಟ್ಟೆ. ಅದೇ ರೀತಿ ನಮ್ಮವರೇ ಆದ ಒಂದು ಚಿತ್ರವನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿದರು. ಅವರು ಕೂಡ ನಮ್ಮವ್ರನ್ನ ನಾನು ಚೇರ್ಮನ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದು ನಮ್ಮವ್ರನ್ನೇ ನಾನು ನೋಡದೇ ಇದ್ರೆ ಹೇಗೆ ಅನ್ನೋ ರೀತಿ ಬಹಳಷ್ಟು ನಮ್ಮವ್ರನ್ನ ಹುಡುಕಿ ನಾನು ಪ್ರಶಸ್ತಿಯನ್ನು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಬಂತು, ಜೋಸೆಮನ್ ಬರೀ ಅವ್ರ ಕಡೆಯವ್ರಿಗೆ ಪ್ರಶಸ್ತಿಯನ್ನು ಕೊಟ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾನೆ ಅಂತೆಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳಿ. ಏನಾದ್ರು ಕಾಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಲಿ, ಆದರೆ ಅವರ ಕೆಲಸಗಳು ಅತ್ಯುತ್ತಮವಾಗಿತ್ತು, ಕಾಂಪಿಟೇಟಿವ್ ಆಗಿತ್ತು. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ನಾನು ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಪ್ರಶಸ್ತಿಯನ್ನು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಮತ್ತೊಮ್ಮೆ ಈ ಸುಂದರ ಸಂಜೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ನನ್ನನ್ನು ಈ ಒಂದು ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಕ್ಕೆ ಒಬ್ಬ ಅತಿಥಿಯಾಗಿ ಆಹ್ವಾನಿಸಿದ್ದಕ್ಕಾಗಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಈ ಇಡೀ ವೃಂದಕ್ಕೆ ನನ್ನ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರಗಳನ್ನು ಧನ್ಯವಾದವನ್ನು ತಿಳಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಸೋ ಮಚ್. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಸೋ
ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು. ಆಂಡ್ರೂ ಜೈಪಾಲ್ ಅವರು ದಯವಿಟ್ಟು ಮುಂದೆ ಬಂದು ತಮ್ಮ
Okay, good evening everybody. I'm going to keep it very, very, very short. Once again, good evening to all my dear fathers, family, friends, brothers and sisters. Okay, very importantly, after I came into the film industry and once I became a celebrity, always stage, awards or, shawls and bhara, everything. Only one thing I remember always, what the Bible says, you are from the dust, you will always return to the dust. So humbly standing in front of all of you, I just want to tell you how I became this celebrity, okay? I'm just like a clay in all the Father's hands. I was such a shy person, I cannot go on stage, I cannot speak on stage. If 10 people is there, if 10 people are there, I'll be somewhere in the corner hiding. But today, I studied in Christu Jayanti College, by the way. Father Jose Kuti, I don't know how many of you know. Whenever, first time in my college, from TV, some people had come, I was very afraid, but Father came, he patted on my back and he said, we all are God's children. We will always succeed when you have Jesus with you. Go forward, he told. Today, people, each and every step of my life, all my dear fathers were always with me. That is how I have succeeded, and there are major players in my success. Today, in this stage, I got this opportunity and I'm very thankful to all the fathers who are there in my life. And after coming here, I am sitting in the first row. But actually my spiritual father is Father Francis. And he is sitting in the second row. See, this is the love they show for us. And thank you so much, Father. Thank you very much. You should give a big round of applause. The love what they show towards us, I cannot, express my thanks and gratitude. Every step of my success. After I came out of my big boss, my own church chased me away. They told you'll go to hell. But Father Francis called, you will not go to hell, come. Jesus is loving God. So that love, care and concern, whatever is there. Today, why I gave you this short introduction is, we are in a place where we have to give back to our community, to all the fathers here. Okay, today I may be a guest, leave that. Okay, as I told we are the dust, we'll go, return back to the inside God's house. I'm just a small child in front of all of you. Okay, my expertise in this field or my help, or don't take my help, it's my request. I want to come and help all of you, Father. I am always, I'll be waiting for your call to come. You ask me to come and help anything here. Okay, I am part of this family. And once again, thank you for inviting me and thank you everybody.
Thank you very much. I now request our beloved Archbishop, Most Reverend Your Grace Peter Machado, to please come and address the gathering.
Your Grace, Archbishop Emeritus, dear Monsignori, the chief guest on the stage, Mr. Joe Simon and Mr. Andy, my dear fathers, sisters, benefactors and friends. ಇವತ್ತಿನ ಈ ಸಂಜೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಬಹುಶಃ ನಮ್ಮ ನಿರ್ದೇಶಕರ ಜೊತೆ ಆ್ಯಕ್ಟರ್ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ನಾನು ಕೂಡ ಒಂದು ಹೀರೋ ಅಂತ ಕಾಣ್ತೀನಿ, ನನಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ಆದರೆ ಭಾಳ ಸಂತೋಷ. ವಾಟ್ ದ ಮೀಡಿಯಾ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಡೂ. In English we say, the medium is the message. The media is the message. Media ಬೇರೆ, ಸಂದೇಶ ಬೇರೆ ಅಂದ್ಕೊಂಡು ನಾವು ಹೇಳಲಿಕ್ಕಾಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. And it depends. The media creates opinions. The media gives joy. The media gives sorrow. The media is comedy. The media is tragedy. But in spite of this, we cannot do without media. It seems there was this man, CEO of one big company, who was jogging in the morning, and suddenly he saw one big advertisement there on the
billboard there. It was of one bank, ICICI Bank or something, and it was written there, "We will make your dreams come true." This fellow got a shock of his life. Anyone should feel happy by seeing that kind of advertisement. He ran to the ICICI Bank where he had account, and he said, "Sir, please close my account immediately," he said. The manager said, "What's wrong with you? And you have read our beautiful advertisement there, and you are coming and asking us to close the account. What's the reason?" And he explained the background. He said, "Last night I had a terrible dream. I had a nightmare. And in the nightmare, someone was trying to kill me and put me in these things and all. And when I read this, your dreams will come true, and kudle naan maten hirli." I'm really, that's fun. I'm just trying to tell you, a billboard which says something joyful could also be something sad for someone else. Media and the message. Today, Father Cyril, we have to appreciate very much, I would say single-handedly, he has brought up this studio. Surely we have all helped him and supported him, but it is his idea that it has come up to this level. And in all humility and devotion, he has named it AVE, Ave Maria. That's a beautiful word for us. And you know, the Bible, the first chapter of Luke says, when the angel Gabriel came to Mother Mary, he said, "Ave, Ave." And he gave the good news to Mother Mary, which Mother Mary perhaps may not have realized is good news as such, because asking a lady to say that you will be the mother without having relationship with her own husband was something terrible. But then, behold the handmaid of the Lord. And this is how we bow our heads to God. And today, as the diocese, the Archdiocese, is proud to have a studio of this sort, which Mr. Joe Simon says cannot be compared to so many, and he wants to shoot his own film here, rather the beginning of his film, which means that we have come to a certain standard. The long road we have walked. Archbishop Bernard, who has made this building and such a superstructure with all the commissions, and he had made a special place for what we call the communications as such, which place was utilized very well for Father Cyril. And the studio of the Archdiocesan Communication Center, which began in a very humble way in our bishop's building here, through the good offices of Monsignor Jainathan. So this is our humble steps that we have taken, baby steps we have taken, and today perhaps with the help of so many of you, donors, benefactors, well-wishers, we have been able to do what we are. And perhaps we will surely depend on you, we will pray for you, and whatever we depict from here, Archbishop Bernard rightly said, it's a pastoral, it's not just a commercial. Perhaps we could even make it a little commercial in order to sustain ourselves, but the main thrust is in order to give good news to the people, good news of God, good news of consolation, and especially appeal to people in order to support each other, to help each other in times of need. I thank you very much, and I am grateful that so many have come and expressed their confidence in the Archdiocese and its projects. We depend on you, to continue your support, your prayers, and especially for your encouragement for all our concerns. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Grace. And I request our dear PRO and spokesperson of Archdiocese, Mr. Kantraj, to render the vote of thanks.
I know many of you must be very smiling deep inside. At last the vote of thanks has come. We may have to go back home. I take this opportunity at the outset, without wasting much time, to thank our Archbishop Emeritus Bernard Morris He was here in this Archdiocese for 14 long years, tirelessly building the diocese. And we are so happy that he is there still with us in Bangalore. I want to thank him profusely from the bottom of our hearts. All of you gathered here on behalf of our Archbishop Peter Machado and all of us gathered here. Your Grace, I want to thank you. You still look very young. I don't know why the calendar misled us. I want to thank you for taking time to be here with us. I want to share with you, just the other day he celebrated 50 years of being appointed as bishop. 50 years of bishop. Sorry, 25. Okay, let it be a prophetic message. When we meet next, we will be celebrating his 50th year. And he had been to Bangalore to celebrate, got down at the airport and drove straight here. See the amount of energy and stamina he has got. I always envy him. He walks faster than you and me. Thank God for that gift of good health. We want to thank you, Your Grace. We are so happy and proud that you are here with us, and your presence has made a huge, huge difference. I want to thank our beloved Archbishop. Our Archbishop is just about 4 years in this Archdiocese. He is popularly known as People's Bishop. He is a People's Bishop. I've never seen him sitting just like that. Either he'll be reading or writing or talking and meeting people round the clock. The amount of stamina and energy he has got is really sometimes baffles me. And he's there always with us. Sadly, when he was here for 2.5 years back, this COVID struck us. This small, insignificant, microscopic virus literally shook the humanity to its edge. And that's the time the entire church was closed. First time in the history, or perhaps our memory goes, never a church was closed for this reason. And everybody were looking up to him. What would be the next step? How will he lead the Archdiocese and preserving the faith of the people intact? And he seemed to have told us, he perhaps echoed in John 14, believe in God and believe also in me. And he led us so beautifully these 2.5 years. He built us in faith. And that's the time there was this need for this studio. It is said beautifully, it does not matter what you have. What matters is what you do with what you have takes you where you want to be. And we are here celebrating that beautiful studio. And what happens to is not under control. The virus attacked us. It was not under control. But what happens through you is absolutely under control. And he was in full control of the situation. Every meeting, every decision, everything that he was monitoring, and I'm sure everything was fine. 2.5 years was a wonderful experience. Though we are not coming to church, he helped preserve our faith intact. And when the studio issue came, he gave a massive support, unconditional support, encouragement, and everything that you think was given by him. We are so happy and proud to have our Bishop Peter Machado with us. Thank you, Your Grace. Thank you so much. Any amount of words would be inadequate. You would always say, please don't talk much about me. But the problem is I'll be searching words to talk much about him. And we want to thank you very much, Your Grace, for being here with us. And we have a distinguished guest, Mr. Joe Simon. We are so happy and proud that he is from our community. 30 films from a studying star, Vishnuvardhan. You and I all know about him and the contribution. He is a recipient of the Lifetime Award. We want to thank God for his contribution to the film and being a member of our community. I want to thank you for taking time to be here with us, Lord. Mr. Simon, and he has come with his family also. And we also have Andrew Jaipal. He just spoke, a firebrand actor, full of fire, full of enthusiasm. I want to thank you and wish and pray that you go still higher ranks in this film industry. And we have our Monsignor Jainathan. I always look up to him with great respect of his intellectual approach and understanding. A great support for the Archdiocese, always guiding, thinking deep into every issue and giving the right direction to the Archdiocese. Thank you. And he is the founder director of the ACC, the studio that he humbly started, and the foundations that he has laid. This edifice of Ave Maria stands firm on the foundation that he has laid. I want to thank you, Monsignor, for being with us, for all the contributions towards this ACC. And of course, our Monsignor Francis, a wonderful man, jovial, always humorous, full of life, always encouraging. I want to thank him. He's an amazing contributor for the Archdiocese, very silently, but I want to thank him. He comes all the way from Tisipalya. Every now and then he drives like a young boy, zipping through the city of Bangalore and comes here. I want to thank you, Monsignor, for being here with us. I would be failing in my duties if I don't thank the director of the ACC, Father Cyril Victor. I work with him day in and day out, full of fire, full of enthusiasm and life. And he was a graduate from he's a doctorate for the communications from the Rome University. He came down, and that's the time, you know, it is said beautifully in Romans 8:28, all things work for good, those who love God. Many of us are cursed this COVID, but then something good came out of it as far as the studio is concerned. And that's the time virtually a skeleton space was converted into a beautiful Ave Maria studio here. Thank you, Reverend Father. I can go on telling you about what you have done, but then it's an amazing milestone that you have left in the history of Archdiocese. And I want to thank all the Reverend Fathers and Sisters here, and a very special for taking time to be here with us this evening. Before we prepare for the wonderful session that God has blessed, a Lenten season, a grace-filled session, a grace-filled season is awaiting us from tomorrow. 3 years we were deprived of the church and the Lenten season. I'm so happy to see, and so happy to look forward that the Lenten season is coming up from tomorrow. And my special word of thanks to all the donors. The donors I really appreciate, because you did not know what was in store for the contribution that you're making, but you did it in faith. You did it in faith without expecting anything, but then something much bigger than a reward that you expected is awaiting. And the promise comes from Malachi 3:10. Bring your tithes into my storehouse. Bring all your savings into my storehouse, and let there be sufficient food in my house. And put me to test, says the Lord, if I will not open the doors of my heaven and pour out such blessings upon each one of you that you will not have room to store. That is the promise God is giving to each one of your donors who spontaneously came forward to make this dream a reality and possible. I want to thank you all on behalf of our beloved Archbishop and all the priests of the diocese and Father Victor and all of us here, a very, very big thank. And it does not stop at it, and you will have to continue to sustain what you have built. Be with the studio, participate in its programs. And I want to thank all the volunteers who made this lawn a beautiful place to have this program this evening. All the volunteers, the staff of Palna Bhavan, and we can go on. And what I want to say, big thanks to everyone. Those of whom have missed, I still want to thank them. Have a wonderful evening. Have a sumptuous dinner before we start on penance from tomorrow. Celebrate this evening. Before we proceed for the dinner, I request our Archbishop to give us the final blessing and lead us in the moment of prayer.
Heavenly Father, we bless and thank you for this day, this beautiful evening where we have gathered together to thank you and to remember your goodness in the works of our Archdiocese, in the works of the kingdom. You have enabled us to do so many things ever since so many years, and the archbishops. On this time, we remember with gratitude all the blessings that you have given us of the Palana Bhavan, and today very especially the AVE studio that has been done through the instrumentality of Father Cyril with the help of so many donors and benefactors. Bless each of them, bless their families. We remember very especially their sacrifices in order to achieve this end. We ask a special grace and blessing on all those who are present here, the chief guests,
the Archbishop, the Monsignori, the fathers, sisters, and all those who are here. Keep us always united in your love and in your service. Bless the food that has been affectionately prepared for us as we eat it, that it brings us a bond of unity in all of us. We make our prayer through Christ our Lord. The Lord be with you. May Almighty God bless you, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Buon appetito.
Thank you, Your Grace. Thank you, everyone. We reached the grand finale, the conclusion. I would not call this a conclusion because this is just the beginning. We have a long way to go ahead. We have just laid the strong foundation today. There are a lot more to come through AVE Studios. The dinner is served right behind you. There are both vegetarian and non-vegetarian foods served. You have people to support, help. Please serve yourselves the slurpalicious dinner. And meantime, we have our own talented Nelson Kumar, who is going to entice you with his absolutely mesmerizing instrumental melody. I welcome Nelson Kumar to please come on stage.
My name is Kevin Williams. Welcome to AVE Studios. This is the waiting area. It's huge, it's spacious also. We have sofa sets. So we have two sections in the studio. One is the video section and other is the audio section. I'm not going to tell you right now what's it. I want to show it to you. Let's go. This is the recording studio. This is where all the vocals, the jamming, all the singing, recording, instruments, everything happens at this place. What you're seeing right here is a microphone from Neumann, made in Germany. This is a large diaphragm condenser microphone. This is used for high quality recording of vocals and instruments. This looks like a good headset to me. Sennheiser HT206. This headset, you can hear from the lowest to the highest of frequencies. I think these are pretty good for monitoring audio voice. Do you hear that sound? Exactly. This is the silence of the room. The acoustics of this room is neatly designed to capture the most crystal audio from your vocals or your instrument. So here we have a lot of XLR ports to make it more easy, and without a hassle, you'll be able to connect all the microphones. On my right, there's a room. All the jamming, all the vocals, everything is taken and put it there. Here is the final mix will happen. This is what I was talking about. This is the audio control room. On the left hand side, we have the entire setup. We have the Apple Mac Pro. We have two Genelec monitors which are around 200 watts each. We have the Neumann monitors as well, both 200 watts each. Here we have Behringer mixing amplifier. Below that we have the AVE Pro Tools Carbon. This is the audio recording setup. This is the audio control room, complete setup. This is where the audio post-production works. Everything will happen. Hey, put on the lights. Oh my goodness, where's my phone? Oh my goodness. There are a lot of mirrors here. There's a mirror here, there's a mirror there. So this is the makeup room. Pretty good, huh? I better go and check what this is. Oh my goodness. This is where all the big things happen. I'm standing here at 200 square foot green space. This space is equipped with rally lights, silkworm lights. We have 5 single panel lights and 4 dual panel lights. Pretty good. You can change backgrounds like this, this and this. So this is a juggler console. This is where you control all the lights, all the LED lights. So what you see on top, the entire set goes forward and backwards as well. You can adjust according to your shot, your scene, your lighting, the way the mood behaves. Everything is controllable. It's customizable, if I should say. We have industry standard camera setups and teleprompters as well. Now, where all the videos and clips go? There, in the video control room. Follow me. This is the place. So this is the video control room. So the producers, directors, content writers, script writers, and other technicians who are involved in corporate film shows or other shows can direct the actors who are performing out there. Now we'll be going to the final stage of the post-production, which is the other side. So this is the last stage of post-production, where video editing happens. This is where all your post-production work happens. Video editing, color correcting, color grading, and audio. Now we have come to the end of the video. I would like to show you another important aspect of this film. The entire studio is equipped with the centralized AC. So this will make you cool, calm. I've been sitting there for some time here and it was really calm, it was really cool out there. So that even when you work out of stress, it cools you down completely. I really like that. The studio is equipped with high-speed internet all over the place. So wherever you go, in this corner, that corner, you will always find high-speed internet. So that you will not have any lag with your work or not slow down your work when you start working with your clients or producers or your projects. On my right is a beautifully crafted tree. On the leaves of this tree, you can see the names of people, family and congregation. They are the ones who have funded the studio as benefactors, as sponsors. This is AVE Studios. Come with all your multimedia projects and experience the glory of the studios. Thank you for watching.
My dear friends, I'm sure you are well aware of our YouTube channel, Bangalore Archdiocese. Since the lockdown, we've been live streaming the daily and the Sunday Eucharist and other various spiritual programs to the faithful. my dear friends, the unprecedented catastrophe of COVID-19 and the subsequent lockdown has surely shown us the significance of media in our lives. It was only this platform that could keep us together, connected in these gloomy days. And hence, my dear friends, we want to tell your stories to the world. Come join hands with us to support our communications campaign. Stay tuned with the Archdiocesan media efforts in its mission and evangelization to bring many more souls towards Christ.